2666 Marching Mammoths. Hello, Alan here. Just a brief update on my progress on my first book, and there's going to be an unboxing while I'm wrapping a surprise for Marching Mammoths too. I have a 50-50 idea what's going to be in here, so stick around, we'll both find out. Hello, welcome back, Alan here. So I had to stop. Where did I stop finally today? I stopped at page 323, so pretty good for a week, you know. I'm getting into the parts where, well, no, there's still quotation marks, and actually I stopped at 365. There's no chapters in here. There's little dots. You can see where there's just to separate. Those are called plunkets. For German, it means full stop. Look at Joyce's Ithaca episode in Ulysses. At the very end, you'll know which edition of Ulysses you have. If it's a square one, you have a bad Ulysses. It should be a round full stop. Or they're called bullet points now. But as the novel progresses, I see that these between bullet points are just complete stanzas with no paragraph breaks at all. It's like a Faulkner text. There's dialogue within the text that with no dash or quotation mark or anything. I'm going to speed this up because it's not going to be my full review. I should have said right off the bat, I'm really loving this book. But it took me a while to get into the first part. I came at this book through a, Cliff at BetterThanFood book reviews. I'll leave his link below. And then last month, the book chemist mentioned it again. So I got, this is a library copy. I got it on hold, and it came up sooner than I thought. Good thing. And then this mammoth, or Marching Mammoth, came along. I could try to pronounce the names. Espinosa, easy name. Let's start at the beginning. Peltiner, Espinosa, and Marini. They're all three literature hounds, really into the, I'm a Joycean. Well, these guys are in Archibaldi, this writer. It takes place during my time period, my time frame, like this, the Voluntary. You know how when you read a book, it doesn't matter if you pronounce the name correctly or not. You know who the names are and that. But anyway, he read Archibaldi for the first time in '76. He translated his first novel by Archibaldi in 1988. I know he's got his professorship by the time he's 20-something. And so anyway, these guys end up all loving this Archibaldi writer. And there's a woman who comes into the fold in Paris. There's students, a lot of good writing about that. I could read part of the text. I'll try not to do any spoilers. There's one, boy, I was surprised at one point. This is a cast of, you'll like this book if you're a fan of Thomas Pynchon, as I am. If you're a fan of stories within stories within stories, I just read and reviewed Black Leopard, Red Wolf, that type of world within world within world. This is published and written in 5 books, so there's 5 different books, and that's all the chapter breaks besides the bullet points you get. And I haven't finished this book. Like I said, I'm not even halfway through. I've only been reading it for a week. I'm going to show some. I want to get to it, otherwise this is going to be a 30-minute review, and it's supposed to be an update. Let's see. So, yeah, these 3 profs, they meet in Germany for, a lit conference, and if anybody's ever been in one of those, you've been to all of those. No, they're great, but we've got a few dozen pages of that, all gearing to, you're coming to this novel, you know about Santa Teresa, the made-up city, right there. It says it's 5 miles away from New Galles, and I know New Galles. Phoenix is in here, Tucson is in here, I know Tucson too. It's right, there's New Galles, Arizona, and New Galles, Mexico. It's a border town where, hey, gringo, hey, buy my blanket, see, they're grabbing you. It's fun to visit, I've been there, I've been to Cancun, I've been to Puerto Penasco. So I've been to Mexico, and I didn't know that, I just stopped at where it's getting down to the rock and roll nitty gritty, Cormac McCarthy type part. So let me, I'm gonna take a picture and pop it up here. He gets into Thomas Pynchon-esque areas of, he talks about geometry. There's a funny part where a character, I should have did the tongue twisters before this. And Ethel Tino, he hangs a geometry book up on a clothesline, and his daughter Rosa, who plays a big part in the novel, questions him about it. And now it's coming to a returning theme with different characters noticed in this book. I mean, hundreds of pages apart. It's like the cloud in Ulysses, or the man in the Mac who keeps showing up at the funeral, or down here in Bloom season there. Boy, I mean, this is a rich novel. We get into part 3. Part 2 is really good. Lots of great stuff going on. There's it's a real readable book too. You don't need any secondary sources. I came to this book thinking I would. I think, I'm going to have to know all the Spanish writers, and I don't know. I'm not real well read in that at all. And he does drop a lot of names along the way, from Gunter Grass, Simon Rusty, Dickens, and Stevenson, and people. Those are people I do know. Nietzsche gets into that, but he gets into some dream things and telepathy, and just starting to get into that on page. It's just a really rich novel. I'm not going to be able to do it justice here. Let me, maybe I'll read more from the book. It's a library book, so I didn't mark it up. In fact, we'll see what's in there. But I honor library books of this, where these diagrams with Aristotle and Plato and Heraclitus. Drawing 1. Or like this, drawing 2 with the same drawing, but he's got Thomas More and Plato and some guys I don't know. Then another diagram with Wolf, Kant, Descartes, Leibniz, and Saint somebody, I don't know that saint. Over here, Heidegger, Nietzsche, so kind of lost me there, He likes to do things with lists. So there's a list from names to recipes. I'm laughing because I'm trying to prove a point here what I'm talking about, but then after the bullet point, there's another thing I want to get to too. So I'm not going to read off all these lists. But okay, Schopenhauer, know him. Freud, recognize him. St. Augustine, know him. The Confessions, City of God. Marx, Sade, Hegel, Pascal, but all these other people, I have no idea where he's going with this, but he, main character guy, M.L. Fitano, starts hearing this voice, and this voice, it starts up, the book has, it comes to the edge of queer baiting or not queer bashing. Does the same with stereotypical kind of Negro shaft period. How they talked in shaft and referred to soul brothers and like that. Well, he's got this voice that keeps asking him, but the voice returned, and this time I'd asked him, begged him to be a man, not a queer. Queer? Asked Amaltofanto. Yes, queer, faggot, cocksucker, said the voice. Homosexual, said the voice. In the next breath, it asked him whether he happened to be one of those. One of what? Asked Amaltofanto, terrified. A homosexual, said the voice. You know, and this goes on for a few dozen pages. Not quite that intensely, but a lot of characters. Here's a funny part. There's a lot of funny stuff on. Where's the monsieur? Asked Fate. We haven't seen him. I think he never comes out into the yard. He's a blind guy, you know. He was born blind. He spends all day in the kitchen eating, or in the bathroom shitting, or lying on the floor in his room reading books for blind people in that blind people's language. What's it called? Braille, said the other reporter. Fate imagined them. Well, I just thought that was funny. It's a great novel. I look forward to getting into it. I could read. There's a lot of great sex in here. I could read that. There's funny parts in here. Detroit is in here a lot. I love that because I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I'm getting into the ghosty part, the woo-woo stuff that's going on. I'm getting into part 4 just now, is where I left off. It's reminiscent of me. I was talking to Alex at BigAlBooks about Tree of Smoke, Dennis Johnson, because we were talking about Dennis Johnson and his short stories last year, and she hasn't read that yet. I read it a few years ago and loved it. It won the National Book Award about 10 years ago or so. The descriptions in here remind me of his descriptions in Vietnam. The way he does it makes you feel like you're there above. So I am not doing this review justice, because it's not a review, it's an update. Let's get to see what's in here. It's either going to be my own copy of 2666, and apparently that is the way you say it. I haven't read any. Oh yeah, I heard Jason is reading this book too. I'm going to check out his update in that. I'm curious to see what you have to say about this, Jason. Let's see what else. Let's see. Well, my next mammoth read will be Against the Day, Thomas Pynchon. Yes, mammoth. How many pages? Oh, this is over 1,000 pages long, ladies and gents. Penguin edition, good. I've never read this, so I'm going to be reading this with a read along with the Book Chemist, and I'll leave that link below too. He's read this before, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's Chicago during the World's Fair back in the late 1800s, and I just got done reading Gravity's Rainbow, which is why I could read this. I want to thank BookTube for, I would have never came across 2666, and I'm really enjoying this. I will be rereading this. This is a big, hard book and classic.